Good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution. It's the Friday free for all. Hobby Evolution episode 689. It is Friday. Jenny's in the house. Paige and Deanie Bean are here. Good morning. Happy Friday. It's a little chilly. It's kind of foggy here. I'm hoping it's because there's like a warm air front coming in, but I don't think that's the case. It is foggy though, and I'm not sure why. I know it's going to be chilly. I've got my Annawan Braves light sleeve long shirt because hey, I'm prepared today. I'm prepared. You never know what a Friday night in the fall in Illinois is going to be. So I've got my light long sleeve shirt, which is a great fall shirt, supporting my alma mater, Annawan High School, which I'll be going to later today. And then I've got my hoodie ready for tonight's football game. It's the Annawan Wethersfield Titans against the Knoxville Blue Bullets. Knoxville's undefeated. They're ranked in Class 2A. My alma mater's in Class 1A. They are no longer, actually, I don't think they were ranked at all this year. They received some votes in the polls. Today, 39 is the low. It's currently 41, 68 the high. Let's check out where the temperatures are going to be at in Annawan. Annawan, it's currently 40 and a high of 70. So pretty similar weather in Annawan, which is it's only like 2.5, 3 hours south of where I am in Madison. David, good morning. Victor, hello, good morning. Cubs sweep. How about that? They swept the Phillies. Made some more, just a nice little machine gun eBay sale. So that'll give me some more items to ship this morning before I leave. I'm going to talk about that today. Thank you. Shout out to Jenny. Helped me get a little boost in the eBay sales with some advice yesterday. Paige and Deanie Bean says, is mowing season finished? Dean. Well, Dean, when I went up, just before I went live to get my coffee, I looked out my back window and Frank's robot is mowing right now through frost. It's mowing the frost. I don't know why Frank hasn't shut that dang thing off yet. I have one more mow left, and I was waiting for it to warm up since I'm going to be busy this weekend. So I'm thinking, well, maybe next week if it warms up. And this is kind of like, so waiting for warm weather at the end of the mowing season going into fall is kind of like waiting for airline prices to go down as you prepare for a trip. Like me at spring training. And I ended up having to pay $200 more than what I would have paid a month prior. But you don't want to mow too early. You don't want to have the last mow be too soon because then it's shaggy all winter long. And then in the spring, it's just a mess. If anybody's familiar with that, probably not because you're more up on your lawn, especially this time of year. I'm up on my lawn April, May, June, July, August. And then at the end, like Labor Day, I just like, screw it. I'm done with lawn care. Like I'm done. As long as I get it done by next Wednesday, because we're going to be in the upper 60s through next Wednesday. And then next Thursday, we're going to be down in the 50s for highs. So I'll do one last mow probably Monday. Actually, no, I'll probably mow Tuesday. Because the lawn waste facility is open late on Tuesday till 7 p.m. Otherwise, they close at like 2 or 3, and I like to do later afternoon mows. So one more mow left, and then mowing season is officially in the books, and I'll have to I'll put the lawnmower in the back of the garage, and then, unfortunately, I have to pull out the snowblower, which I will wait until we have a foot of snow on the ground to fire it up. So I should probably check that before like December hits and we get that first big snowfall. And it's like, oh crap, my snowblower doesn't work. And I have to call my buddy, Jeremy, can you bring your snowblower down and do my driveway? Where are we at? So mowing season is almost finished. Frank's lawnmower still mowing. It's mowing through frost as we speak right now. Tracy, good morning. 46 and clear in Chicago. Ed says, good morning, all. Happy Friday. Just listened to Herman's interview on Sports Card Nation. Great job. I have that in queue. I might listen to that on my drive later today, because I've got about a 2.5 hour drive. I kind of like tuning into podcasts for my commutes. Let's see. Tracy says 40-mile-an-hour winds and rain this morning. Oof. And Tracy, are you in? I always get this wrong. Tracy, are you in Florida? I always get this wrong. Initially, I thought you were in Colorado, but then I think I was way off. Colorado or Florida? Bearded Bookworm, or am I way off on both? Bearded Bookworm, picked up some drinks on my way home from work. All of the gas station's exterior lights shut off at the same time. It's still dark in Arizona, so it was a nice freak out at 5 a.m. I was thinking drinks on the way home from work, like some beers, but I guess at 5 a.m., I don't know. If Bearded Bookworm, if you work overnights, how does that work? Because I know where I worked, when I worked in Monmouth, Illinois, there were some plants that were like 24-hour plants. And so the guys that worked third shift, like bars opened at like 6 a.m. for the overnighters. And so they would, after work, they would go to the bar. So I don't know how that works. So could have been coffee, could have been beer. I picked up some Goose Islands, some 412s last night. Had some Goose Islands last night. DR says, good morning. Sold my first 2 collection finds while I was asleep. Albert Pujols Upper Deck rookie. Hey, strike while the iron is hot. And a 96-97 NHL metal hockey set. Very nice. Very nice. Jenny says, you want the last mow to be higher grass. Don't mow too low. Interesting. I hate it when it's too tall, because then it's a mess in the spring. So Frank's like buzz cutting his lawn, which you would think Frank would know better, because he's like more into his lawn than I am. Although his lawn does not look good. The robot is not a good move. But I think he might be running it too much, because he's buzz cutting. And it looks like it's brown and it's like spotty. It's not a good look. My lawn looks better and it needs mowed. It needs a fresh cut, but it's green. It's nice and green still. Maybe that's because it's a little longer. Jenny will be mowing for many, many more times because we have trees and the leaves don't fall yet. I'll mow up until the first snowflakes are flying and then rush to get cleaned up what is there. I'm like, typically, I don't know if I've ever mowed this late in the season, usually mid-September. So apparently my laziness apparently pays off as far as lawn care, because typically I let my grass be really tall, because I like stop mowing at Labor Day and it gets really tall because it's still growing. So maybe I let it get too tall. I don't know. But hey, my laziness pays off, I guess. Dan says, do you rake your leaves or mow your leaves? So I don't have any. Fortunately, I don't have any leaves. So we only have one tree in our backyard. It's a very small, it's like a cherry blossom, I think. So it doesn't really have leaves. It has leaves, but they don't like fall. And then there's a tree line in the way back of my house, like at the back edge of my yard. But those leaves really don't fall into my yard. They'll fall into the neighbors' yards, or the field that's on the other side. So fortunately, I don't get leaves in my yard. So that's good. Now, our next house that we're moving into, which we had our closets designs came back, and so my wife was showing me the closet designs, and she's like, so here's what your closet's gonna look like. And I'm like, oh, that's nice. She's like, is that okay? Yeah, that's fine. I'll make it's a closet, I'll make it work. So we're putting a closet in the basement, like we have like extra space just based on the layout. So we have like this extra space. It's like you can never have too many closets. So it's like, let's put a closet there. So she's like, this is going to be like a random closet in the basement. She's like, but I don't think the shelves are going to be I don't think you can put baseball cards. They're going to be too heavy. And I'm like, but I've got plenty of stuff that can fit in that closet. Anyway, the new house, I think, will have some leaves. So um, historically, at previous homes I've lived in, I just mow them. I don't think I've ever really raked leaves unless it's like after my Labor Day, and I don't want to mow. I guess I've probably raked leaves in the past, but it's not. I would preferably mow them, and I think that's better. Jenny is the expert in here about lawn, so I would think. I'm assuming that mowing your leaves is better for your lawn than raking them because there's like nutrients and all that stuff. It's like a mulch, and it provides a nice bed of mulch over your grass for the winter months. Now, my hometown, shout out Annawan, people freaking burn their leaves and it annoys the hell out of me. Oh my gosh. I want to go knock on people's doors who burn leaves and be like, what the hell are you doing? Because it stinks up the entire damn town. And I hate the smell of smoke. Any smoke. Actually, I like the smell of like vanilla pipe smoke, but every other cigarette smoke, burning smoke. When I burn something in the oven, smoke. I just hate the smell of smoke, especially burning leaves on a nice summer or fall sunny day and somebody's burning leaves like 7 blocks away. And it's like, Dorothy, why are you burning leaves? They put it out on the street. There's a big pile of burning leaves, and then it leaves a mess behind. There's smoke all over. Kids are trying to play. They're breathing in freaking leaf smoke. Don't burn your leaves. I hate it. It's like my biggest pet peeve in the world. That and littering. I'm sure there's more, but I hate burning leaves. So the answer is I don't rake or mow my leaves because I really don't have any leaves. If I had leaves, I would mow them over. And I think that's probably the best for the environment or your lawn. Cooter's with us. What's up? Herman, there he is. Zach and Porter, good morning. Paige and Deanie Bean says, in Pennsylvania, Dutch snowblower is Schneeschmeiser. I don't know. What the heck does that mean? A Pennsylvania Dutch snowblower, Schneeschmeiser. Let's see. Jenny says, and by that I mean, yes, we will be mowing to get the leaves taken care of while the snowflakes are falling on us. Tracy, there's the answer. Tracy lives in South Carolina. I was not too far off from Florida. Just one state separates the two. South Carolina, South Cackalack. Jenny is excited to hear the sales of eBay yesterday. There's Johnny Boy cards. If you set the mower deck the highest it can go, you will keep the length to keep the dirt and roots covered for the cold winter, which will help your lawn in the spring, which is actually what you should do in the high heat sun of summer. I did know that. Also, and I accidentally knew that from being lazy, and it's like, I don't want to mow. And it's like, hey, this is actually good in July. Also to protect the roots and from burnout, so you wouldn't have to water much at all. Let's see. Zach mowed yesterday. Keep it low so leaves are easier to grab. Then move the deck higher when leaves fall. Good cigar weather. Terry, good morning. Bearded Bookworm says, yeah, there's a bar near my work that closes at 2 a.m. and opens at 6. People from my work and the hospital workers go there a lot. These drinks was a Gatorade and a Sprite, but the beer is already at home. Very nice. Jenny says you don't get leaves in your yard. You also don't get shade in the summer then, and that's why your water bill is so high. Yes, nailed it. But I love it that way because I can sit outside and bake in the sun and sweat, and I love it. But yes, that's why my water bill is so high in the summer, because I don't have any shade and my grass gets burned to a crisp. And that's why I have to run the sprinklers all throughout June, July, and I kind of give up by August. Usually by August, the summer water bill has arrived, and my wife's like, tone it down on the watering of the lawn. It's okay if it's a little brown. We're cool. $200+ water bills, not cool. Brown grass, cool. $200 water bill, not cool. Let's see. Dan says, now I understand what you mean with your Goodwill pallet finds. It has been almost a week and I still have 10 monster boxes in my car, too lazy to carry them inside. Now you know. I still have a couple boxes in the back of my car. It's like in with the boxes that I still have in my car, and you might be the same. They're boxes that there's really not much inside. Or maybe you do. Sometimes I've like forgot about boxes that are in my car, and the bag, the bag, it was like a garbage bag with cards, and I'm like, I'm just gonna leave that in my car because it's just gonna be junk I'm gonna have to throw away. And that's where the Kobe Bryant rookies were. Fortunately, they were top loaded in the garbage bag, so you never know. But I do know that the 3 or 4 boxes left remaining in my car, they're just commons. There's actually, I think there's 4 boxes, and they're in like coffee, like from a grocery store. Like you go to Aldi's and they have all the boxes that you use for your bags or whatever. Kind of like that. Like coffee, diapers, and they're like super cherry picked. Like not even Roger Clemens and Cal Ripken cards are in these boxes. So basically, I'm only going through them to pull out, and they're all junk wax. So I'm only going through to pull out the Cubs. And it's just like I have better use of my time than to pull out junk wax era Cubs for my own collection. Let's see. Where are we at? Let's see. Cooter says, I have almost 2 acres with dozens of trees. Most of my leaves go to the compost bins we have for yard waste. However, the bins are already full this year. Car Dealer Pro question, have you looked at their comps feature? And if so, how accurate does it seem to be? I have looked at it. The 1 or 2 times I've looked at it, not accurate at all. And again, with any type of comp platform that utilizes AI, it's really, you have to like do the second step of like looking into it further. I like the Center Stage app, but it's super wonky. And so I've got a 90 tops Cal Ripken here. I'm going to break out the Center Stage app. Center Stage, it's a cool app, but it's just not super accurate, which so I use Center Stage app and I bring up so I scanned this card. It's really cool because you just put your camera, point, you don't even have to click, just point and it boom pops up. So 1990 tops Cal Ripken Jr. baseball card. It says this is the Center Stage app, not Collects or Car Dealer Pro. $5.13. We all know that a 1990 tops Cal Ripken is not worth $5.13. So that was the last sale on September 21st. So a week ago, you can click on it. So you can't just blindly say, oh, wow, this is a $5 card. So you click on to the link. It's actually the buyback, which it always strikes me as funny. The buyback is worth 5 times the amount of the original. So it's the 2016 Topps 65th anniversary stamped buyback that sold for $5.13. And then you get a better comp. September 16th one sold for 99 cents. There you go. And that was obviously the base version. Here's one for $7.50. And it was, again, a buyback. This is the Rediscover Topps silver foil. Let's see. I have the Collects. Let's see if Collects has... I haven't used I use Card Dealer Pro like all the time. Oh, it looks like I still have to sign up. So we're not going to use the Collects app right now. But what I have noticed is kind of similar. I was looking at the comps on like some of my 80s basketball cards, and it was bringing up like some graded and stuff like that. So wasn't entirely accurate. It's I think with any comping, especially using AI, you have to take the second step. You can't just blindly say, oh, hey, this Cal Ripken's a $5 card based on what the computer tells you. So not quite there yet. Jenny says, I signed up for Card Dealer Pro's free trial yesterday, tried 12 cards. It found them, then sent an email for me to upload that way. Seemed like it was getting past my knowledge, so I gave up. So I'm not sure why it would have sent you an email to upload. Oh, I wonder. Let's see. So you're probably scanning on your phone. So if you're scanning on your phone, you'll have to, if you, oh, they were computer scans. Okay. So there should be a way. And well, I know there is a way because I've done this before. And I think I did this. If you go back to my card dealer video, like the first, so it was probably a month ago in Hobby Evolution where I did like a walkthrough, and I still didn't really know how to use it yet. Like I was kind of going through the weeds. Go back and watch that, and that should help you. So let me log. I'm gonna log in real quick, and it's actually it's just a different step if you're uploading. Actually, no, it's the same step. What am I saying? Let's see. So you'll go to batches, and this is I'm just gonna tell you because if I walk through it without the screen showing I'm on YouTube and not StreamYard. It'll just be too confusing. Go back and watch the Hobby Evolution where I did the walkthrough. I'm not sure which episode it was, but it was about a month ago. Should be Card Dealer Pro in the title. And that'll show you how to upload. Shouldn't have to, there won't be any emails or anything like that. It's just within carddealerpro.com. Let's see. This is the link for Sports Card Pro. Let's see. And for some reason, YouTube links don't work for me within the chat. Other links do. I don't know why that is, because it just takes me to like the YouTube studio. Let's see. Terry says, good morning. What's up, Terry? JG says, Collects actually works on Android. Center Stage does not. So there you go if you're an Android user. Computer scans for Jenny. So speaking of Jenny, she gave me some advice yesterday. Cooter was hankering to buy huge quantities of soccer and hockey yesterday, but couldn't find any in your store. So I settled on a few Giants cards. Maybe I should list some hockey and soccer. I've never thought about that. Jenny says link probably doesn't work because you're live, so you can't watch videos on YouTube at the same time. That's probably right. Mark, good morning. So Jenny gave me some advice yesterday. I had some brutal sales on it was Wednesday. Some brutal sales on eBay. My like going into like 6 p.m. on Wednesday night, I had like 22 sales. My average is about 90, close to 90. So looking at, and I think I ended up the day Wednesday with like 58 sales, which is much better than 22, but still pretty far from 85, which is the average. So yesterday, thanks to Jenny's advice, boom, big day on sales. I went way above and beyond my benchmark that I like to be at on a daily basis, and it made up for my really crappy Wednesday sales. My sales on Thursday, if you add them up and divide it by 2, boom, Wednesday, Thursday collectively on average, I was above my benchmark for both days. So my sales last 31 days are up 15.2%. We like that. That's the number I like the most because that's the dollars in my bank account. Traffic is down still. Just over 17 million impressions, which is pretty crazy. Because at one point in July, it was at 24 million impressions. So I'm down 7%. Page views down 1.5%, but then the almighty dollar is up 15%. So that is good. We like that. So let's take a look at my sales quantity. We said, 58 sales on Wednesday. Let's take a look. Custom report for September 29th. Bada bing, bada boom. September 29th. Let's generate that report. Sales, 152 cards sold yesterday. We like that number, 152. Only 58 on Wednesday. So let's take a look and let's see what type of start we're on today, September 30th. Let's generate that bad boy. September 30th, we're at 17. So we've got a lot of ground to make up, but we've got a lot of time. So thank you to Jenny. She says use a coupon. And I've been thinking about using a coupon. I know Dan's big on coupons. Some other people that have mentioned are big on coupons, and I'm like, I'm gonna do it. But here's the thing. It's not really a procrastination. Sometimes I think I overthink. I think I overthink. I think I overthink. And so Jenny mentioned you should run a coupon, and it's like, yeah, you know what? I've really been thinking about that, and then in my mind, I'm like, yeah, but I'm going home Friday. I'm not going to be back until Saturday. So I'm going to have sales that I'm going to have to ship. And then Sunday, I'm picking up Topps Pro Debut. And then I'm going to be ripping. And then I'm going to have to mow. And so I think, and it's just like, just do it, Bo. Damn it, Bo, just do it. So I did it. And I and when you get overwhelmed with shipping, that's good. That means money's coming in, and that's the whole point of working, making money, making sales, making money. So I did it. Thank you, Jenny. Gave me that little push. So I was actually at the Ford dealership getting my car serviced. It was due for an oil change, and I had a couple of recalls that I needed to get fixed. So boom, scheduled it. Okay, I'm gonna go on a oil change not rant, but just observation. So I go in, and car dealerships are like the most difficult things to navigate in the world. Like, where in the hell do I go? So the dealership has the dealership, but it's not just, it's got a Ford dealership, it's got a Lincoln dealership, it's got a this dealership and a that dealership, and it's on all this, it's like, okay, so I know I'm not going to the dealership. It's like, oh, the shop. So I go back to the shop and I go around. It's like, it's the parts center. It's like, okay, and there's big garage doors. Okay, this is the service center. And so I, park. And I'm like, wow, this is great. Most dealerships, like, there's like, where the hell do I park? Do I park in front of the big garage doors? Well, I don't want to block anybody. There's no parking spots. There's like brand new cars. Do I park at the end? Where do I park at a dealership? So I'm like, wow, there's actual parking spots. I like this. I walk in. I'm like, yeah, I've got an 11 o'clock appointment for some recalls and an oil change. Oh, you're at the shops department. You've got to go to this. Go out, drive around front, and it's on the other side. You'll see the big garage doors. Oh wait. The guy says, are you at Quick Lane or the service center? And I'm like, it's a recall, so probably the service center, because they're doing more than just an oil change. He's like, okay, yep, just go around, go up to the doors. They'll automatically open, just pull in, and they'll come out and greet you. I'm like, oh, okay. I think I can handle this. So drive out, go to the big doors. There's nice big sign that says drive forward slowly to hit the sensor and the garage will open. Okay. So I'm pulling up, and I'm pulling up, and I'm pulling up, and I'm pulling up. And the garage doors, the sensors aren't working. It's like, what am I doing wrong? So I'm like, I'm just about ready to just give up and walk in. And then finally I got like this close, it seems, probably further, but I got so close. The door finally opened. So I pull in. Nobody came out to greet me. So I'm like, okay, I guess I got to go inside. And then I walk inside, and there's probably like, they're like, what are the things like you talk in front of? Like if you're giving a speech in front of your class, like on the stage, the thing, whatever that is. Those are like what the desks are inside. And so there's like 6 of them, and there's people at each one. There's no like markings. Podium. Thank you, Jenny. Podium. So there's like 6 podium desks. And I like look around. Nobody greets me. I'm like, or a lectern. I think a lectern would qualify as well. And so I just like walk up to the first one, and there's a man and a woman there, and neither of them have greeted me. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Am I at the right place? Finally, after standing there awkwardly for about a minute, it seemed like an hour, A guy at the podium behind me says, "Can I help you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I've got an appointment for 11. Okay, blah blah blah. Okay, so we got everything taken care of." It's like, why are dealerships so like? It's now if you if you walk in if you walk within 600 feet of the dealership, you're gonna have a salesman like run out across the sidewalk and across the street and like come up and say, "Hey, you want a new car?" It's like, but you walk into the service center and it's like, "Hey, I'm here. Take my money. Fix my car. Hello? Anybody home?" Uh, so so they're like, "Oh, it's gonna be 2 hours." I'm like, "Son of a biscuit." So I'm like, I guess I'm going to be staring at my, hey, there's a Wall Street Journal. There's TVs. It's actually a really nice, it's not like your typical waiting room. I give them props for the soapbox. It's my soapbox. So I guess it is more of a soapbox than an observation, right? Um, so I was on my phone and it's like, what the hell am I going to do? Like, I don't want to waste 2 hours just looking at Facebook and Twitter all morning. Like I want to be productive here. So thank you, Jenny. Jenny like sends me a message like as I'm figuring out ways to be productive as I sit there. It's like send offer, send offer, send offer. She's like, hey, do a coupon. And so I did that and boom, I had sales right away. Like, so what I did, let me get to the chat real quick. Terry got the, oh wait. Jenny had a question. Oh, couple. Johnny Boy Card says sales have been really slow. That I've noticed the same thing here over the last couple weeks. First 2 weeks of September were great. And then the last week and a half have been poor. Yesterday I had a great day just because of the sale I'm running. But yeah, I've noticed September has been a little slower than what I had anticipated based on how it started. David says, nice article on Fansided spotlighting Mark Hoyle and baseball card collecting. I do need to read that. I've not read that yet. I don't think I saw that yet when I was sitting in the waiting room. Remember the Weird Al song? Sitting in the waiting room, reading crappy magazines. This is it, pal. Jenny Miller says, awesome. Now is that 152 orders or cards? I think that's cards. You did have that one buy a ton of the same base. Now that you mentioned that, because I had somebody buy 25 Otani cards. Let's see. Okay, so that is cards. So I'm on the screen now. So quantity sold within your reports on eBay is the total quantity of your items sold in the selected time period. They explain further. For example, if a buyer purchases 5 items from a listing, we count it as 5 quantities sold. So if you have a variation listing, say a 1990 tops, pick a card, finish your set listing, and you sell 5 of them, that's quantity sold. So 152 cards yesterday. Let's see. Terry says, I just got my Fujitsu 8170. Have you did your CDP video yet showing the process? I have not. I still need to do that. And I'm not sure. Like so here's, and I'll tell you why, because every morning I say, I'm going to do this video. The first submission video, that's just pure laziness on my part. So I will admit that's laziness. Now, the process videos that I want to do for the Fujitsu scanner and for the Card Dealer Pro and my process, the reason I'm not doing it is because my computers suck. So I'm waiting, and I'm going to get a new computer. I'm going to wait until after today's the last day of my fiscal year. So it's kind of like a blowout. So I'm waiting to make some expenditures to go on next year's taxes because I have my existing inventory. And usually you're like, well, you gotta spend money right before the end of your fiscal year. In this is my first year, so I had existing inventory coming in, which depletes my my profits. So that's why I'm waiting until next year so I can deplete my profits next year by my new computer, the Topps Pro debut that I'm buying this weekend. And my next order of supply. I've been delaying my order of supplies, so all that can go into next year's tax year. So the reason that I have not done the process videos for Car Dealer Pro and the scanner is because I don't trust my computer upstairs. It's older than the computer. Imagine this, if you will. It's older than the computer. Actually, the computer I'm using right now, even though it takes like 15 minutes to boot up some days, uh, is fairly new. I think it just runs on I don't know, RAM or whatever is just low. But my upstairs computer is old, but it seems to work. Actually, it's about the same. It boots up a lot faster. But I still don't try. It's got like an old webcam. I mean, it's from like 2012. My laptop upstairs is like 10 years old. So my new computer is going to go upstairs. So so maybe I'll wait in I'm thinking I'm gonna pull the trigger. I'm gonna check out Amazon Prime Day to see if there's any deals. Otherwise, I'm just gonna pull the trigger on a new machine. I'm gonna get a desktop for up there for my office, and then probably just keep this hunk of junk for the card room. So bear with me. So that's why I have not done a video on the process yet. I talk about it every day. I'm gonna do a video. But that's why, because I want to have like StreamYard open. So I want to be utilizing like the computer, and I just don't trust the machine I'm working on upstairs, along with like the webcam that I can like show the scanner and show what I'm doing. So soon. So within the next month. Dan says it's all set up to sell you a car. You need to use the bathroom. Hey, why don't you buy a car? You want an oil change? Hey, why don't you buy a car? Right? Let's see. Herman says, can we talk about how awesome 91 Studio was? Let's pull out and show. I'm sure I have some 91 Studio over here. This is why I like having it organized, not for like inventory, but for like video purposes. Like, hey, you want to see 91 score? I've got 91 score right here, or Studio. And of course, I probably don't have any 1991 Studio in 1991. No. Oh, I've got one small pile, and I think those are minor league cards. So, bummer. I don't have any 91 Studio next to me. I have 91 Studio. It could be in box 1. It could be in box 9. Let's see. 91 Studio was awesome. It was like, oh, that's an 88 magazine. Ozzie Smith holding his glove in front of his face. Is there a special way of taking photos of Chrome cards? I'd appreciate any advice on how to take better photos of Chrome trading cards. That is like the almighty question. I think the best way for Chrome is a photo box. So I use, and it's crazy, when I bought my photo box, and it's been 2 or 3 years now, they went up in price quickly. Like they doubled in price. I think I paid like $25 for my shadow box, photo box. Let's type it in. So I use these for my like higher end cards. I'll use a photo box. Otherwise, Chrome cards, I'll just take photos like on my couch. Being a couch person, we are couch people. I list a lot like on my couch. And it's all about the, like, I know sometimes it like has the, it catches the light bulb and it puts down. Jenny says she bought one for $25 last night. Okay, maybe they dropped in price. So go to Amazon, and so here's like a miniature one for $15.99. Here's one for $40. So they have dropped in price. And I think the last time I looked, because I think I bought mine, so they have dropped in price. Because they were like the cheapest you could find during COVID was like $50-$60. So things have come back to life, come back to reality. So just type in photo box, and it's like a studio light box, and there's various types you can get. I think they all work similar. So I think that's the best, and that's how I take photos of like the Kenny Pickett, Bowman U autographs that I pulled. I used my shadow box for those. Higher end cards I'll put in the shadow box. Herman built his for $5. I am not handy. I have to use Amazon and buy mine off Amazon. Let's see. So I think that's probably your best bet is buy a photo box. And you might be able to find them at like a Michael's Crafts or Hobby Lobby. They might be a little more expensive than what Amazon is, though. Paige and Deanie Bean says Oil Can Boyd with 25 pounds of gold around his neck. That's a good card. There's another. There's a card with a bird on somebody's shoulder, and I think that was the player's actual like pet bird. Let's see. Cooter says Bose, Car Dealer Pro, and SGC submission videos are the Bigfoot of the hobby. It's Bigfoot and Loch Ness. Keep hearing about them, but have never seen one, right? Let's see. Tracy agrees. He loves the studio cards and picks. I just bought myself a lighted photo box last night off eBay. Sammy Sosa has crazy hair and a lunatic smile on 91 Studio. Let's see. Jenny says, yeah, everything was crazy during COVID. A 2x4 was $9 when it should be $2. That's right. Everything was so crazy. Dan says, did you do a public coupon or was it a coupon that you send to people that have purchased from you recently? I usually have pretty good success when I send a coupon to people who ordered before. Great question. We went off on a tangent, right? Talking about oil changes, car dealerships, studio, and photo boxes. So yes, so the coupon I did do, you can do several options. I did the customers who have purchased from me, and I did everyone. So it went out to over 10,000 people. So it was a coupon that went out to anybody who's made an order before. So many of you probably received a coupon. You may not know it. It might have went to your junk email box, or it was like, oh, here's another stupid eBay. Because I just full transparency, I delete them also. So if you've purchased from me, chances are you hopefully, if you have purchased from me and did not receive the coupon, let me know. But I Jenny's purchased from me, and because I'm like, hey, can you, if you get it, can you send it? Because I want to see how it looks. So, and she did. So it worked from there, and I made some sales off of it. So I did the coupon from people who have purchased from me all time. So it went out to like over 10,000 users. And it was 50% off when you buy 10 or more. So I wanted to make it like, hey, worthwhile, like, wow, 50% off. But I want it to be somewhat volume. Like I don't want it to be like, hey, if you buy 25 cards, because then I think it's kind of like that balancing act. Like the more items you have to buy, the less sales will come in, but also you don't want to just give away your cards. So I did 50% off when you buy 10 or more items. It went out to previous customers, and I set like a time. It's only a 36-hour sale, so it expires tonight at 11:30 p.m. Central Time. So if you did get the coupon, it does expire at 11:30 tonight Central Time. So that's the coupon I used, and I've had success. And I will say, Jenny, I know another question Jenny had was like, what types of items? And so my fear, and here, anybody who's hesitant on issuing big sales like this, because I mean, really, 50% off. I have a Kenny Pickett auto, and it's like $500. But then if I offer a 50% off, it's $250, and it comps. Like I've refused offers that are above $250. So it's like somebody can come in, and it's at full price. So offers don't count. So you put that in your cart with 99-cent cards, and you're gonna to spend an extra $10, you're gonna save $250. So that's my fear. And there I'm giving it away. So somebody can get that Kenny Pickett card for a pretty good deal. I shouldn't be talking about it, but hey, it is what it is. It's a sale for everything in my store. So that's my fear. But most often that doesn't happen. Like Jenny said, and Jenny mentioned when we were talking about the coupons, it's like a lot of times it's stale inventory. And so, oops, I'm in the wrong screen. So let's take a look at what's sold on my 50% off sale. So 50% off. What has sold? I'm going to tell you. Okay, so here we go. In my sold. So actually, as I went live this morning, early in the show, I made a coupon sale. So here's what items sold. A 2004 Panini Classics Ichiro, a 2013 Topps Franchise Forerunners Garrett Cole and Andrew McCutchen, a 1988 Fleer Reggie Jackson, a 1984 Topps All-Star Ozzie Smith, a 2010 Topps Legendary Lineage insert of Ichiro, a 1981 Topps football card of Calvin Hill, a 1983 Topps Receiving Leaders Dwight Clark and Kellen Winslow, a 2017 Topps Archives Ichiro, a 1987 Leaf Reggie Jackson, and a 1983 Topps football common of Hugh Green. So that was one order that took advantage of the 50% off sale. I will gladly sell those cards for 75 cents each. One of the other orders, let's see. So here's an order. Is this one? Make sure that's, yeah. So here's one, some basically common rookie cards. DeAndre Swift Score, Topps Chrome Isan Diaz, Panini Chronicles DeAndre Swift, a 93 Skybox Penny Hardaway, a 95 Skybox Chicago Bulls logo card, a wild card Jalen Waddle, a couple Bowman U, actually just one Bowman U, Chris Olave, a score Jalen Waddle, a Panini Illusions Najee Harris, a 92 Fleer Ultra David Robinson. So those are some of the cards that are selling on the 50% off sale. I will gladly sell those in bulk at 50% off. So that's just a little inkling. And it seems like it's like, for me, I'm thinking there's like some really good cards that you can get for half off if you buy like 9.99 cards and you're saving money, but that doesn't happen. And, so here we are. So with that being said, if the Kenny Pickett doesn't sell and I take another offer of, something over that price, I might be willing to take it. It's like, well, nobody's going to take advantage of that. So I'll accept this offer now. So it does kind of change your mindset a little bit, at least my mindset a little bit. Let's see. Jenny says, Herman, that's your new side gig. Build and sell photo boxes to all the hobby peeps. Victor says, what's up, Victor? My flatbed scanner Epson V550 does a decent job with chrome and foil. So there you go. There's an option for flatbed scanners. Let's see. Paige and Dee Bean says, what? Pet bird Frankie? Let's see. Herman says, now it works great, but wouldn't ship well, built with foam board. 91 Studio is an iconic set. It's one of Zach's favorite sets ever. Paige and Dee Bean. I agree with that. Like, some sets just hit different. That's like what all the kids say these days. Just hits different. 91 Studio. I bet it hits different in a binder. Let's see. Tracy says, I don't remember if I got that coupon or not. Check your junk folder. Or I don't know. I don't know how it, let's see. Let me see if Jenny sent me a screenshot, but I don't know if it had like the title. Let's see. Where are we at? Let's see. So basically it looks like spam in your inbox. So the title of the email is, and it comes from eBay. So it comes from eBay. It doesn't come from me. So it may show up in your spam. The subject is enjoy a coupon from Sports Cards by Bo. And then there's a coupon code, and it's valid until tonight at 11:30 p.m. So there you go. So it could be in your spam folder, or you could have deleted it because it's another, so I don't know if you can you see my email number there? Is it showing up there at the bottom? 131,103 unread emails. So if you send me an email and I don't respond, there's a good chance I didn't see it because, and that's most of that's my 1 million Cubs email. Madison Card Show and my Bo Spencer emails are not as cluttered and I've tried to set up filters within Gmail to like, okay, anything from eBay goes in this eBay folder, and then my inbox, I need to be a little more proactive in trying to figure that out because I know I've had people been like, "Hey, I sent you an email," and I'm like, "Oh, when did you send it?" And then I like search. I'm like, "Oh shoot, I didn't see it." Steve Lake, thank you. Steve Lake had the bird card. Former Cub Steve Lake, although unfortunately he was not a Cub when he had a bird on his shoulder. He was, I believe, was he a Philly in that card? 91 Studio. So yeah, bummer that Steve Lake was not pictured as a Chicago Cub, which he only spent a couple seasons with the Cubs in the mid 80s. He did have a Cubs card in 86 tops and I think 85 tops was Steve Lake, and he did not have an 87 tops Cubs card. So 85 and 86, and I don't think he was in 84. Cooter says, I think it got buried in all the offer emails I group deleted. I would have bought 3 more cards, maybe next time. Let's see. So yeah, and it would have been sent out probably, Cooter, around the time you bought those cards. Because I think that email went out around noon yesterday. Because I was at the car dealership from like 11 to 12:30. So yeah, and it was towards the end of my wait. So it was probably about noon when that went out. So yeah, so there's a little. So if you are looking for that, if you've bought from me on eBay, that coupon is valid until 11:30 p.m. tonight. I sent it, or eBay sent it around noon yesterday, noon Central Time yesterday. So that'll give you a little timestamp to check it out. And the coupon code is in there, so it may have gone to your spam folder, or you may have mass deleted it. But the email comes from eBay, and it says a deal from Sports Cards by Bo, and then that coupon is inside the body of the email. Jenny says your coupon does have a $100 max discount, so they would still pay $400. Oh yeah, yeah. Never mind. So yes, I did have the $100 max discount because of that. So, aha. Thank you, Jenny. I think every coupon works that way with the $100 max discount. I think that's the default. I think you can change that though. But yes, that was 100 was defaulted in that box. And I think you can go in and change that to, you can make it less. I'm sure you could make it more. I didn't play with it. I'm like, $100 max discount. Yeah, that works. So yes, you are correct. You are correct, sir. Zach and Porter says, I got the coupon, 50% off 10 or more items. Sweet. Philly Steve Lake has a bird on the 91 Studio. There's a photo, and I think I can, since this is not a YouTube, that link will work for me. There it is. 91 Studio, Steve Lake. And I think that was actually Steve's pet bird. Let's see. Jenny says, oh, how about Tua? Yes, I wanted to talk about that. Oh my God. I was watching that game. I was reading Tough Stuff magazine from 1993. I tweeted out some photos from the magazine. There was a lot of like, so 93 was like, so a lot of people within the hobby, and I always thought this until I like went back and like kind of researched different articles from the early 90s. Especially for I did a blog post on I'm going to get to Tua, but I want to talk about Tough Stuff 93 before I get there. So I was doing the history on Topps being public, and I just wanted to kind of see the history behind the stock prices and all that. So I did a lot of research with that a year or two ago. So I think it's kind of just assumed that the hobby crash of the junk wax era was so close to the baseball strike, but it didn't really, like, the crash already happened. And then basically the hobby was on fire in 1993 going into 1994. Like, it was already burning to the ground. And then the baseball strike was just like pouring gasoline on it. And then it's just like, we're done. The hobby's now, it was already like on its last leg. It was dying. It was almost dead on arrival. And then the strike happened. And I think hockey was also in lockout in 94. So 2 of the 4 major professional sporting organizations were locked out or on strike. And now it's like nobody wants to buy sports cards. But the crash actually happened like starting in 92. And then by 93, it was like, it's dead. It's dying. Um, and I know that's being dramatic. The hobby didn't actually die in 1993. But it was kind of like now. Like a lot of people think the hobby is dying today. It's not. But if you want to compare it to 2020 or 2021, yeah, you might think it's crashing. But that crash happened, and it did crash in the 90s. There's no argument there. It didn't die, but it crashed. Um, and that started in 92. And so I was reading through this tough stuff, and like I really liked I'm gonna have to go back and read more tough stuff, and I don't have too many tough stuff magazines, probably because they're like phone book thick. And so it's like Beckett's are like nice, and you can put them in boxes easier. Like you can one storage tub's only going to fit 4 tough stuff magazines because they're so huge. But the contents, the articles inside are, a little more edgy than Beckett and baseball. And I guess baseball card, Beckett was kind of like, we're a price guide. This is what we do. Here's what's hot. Here's what's cold. Here's what collectors are collecting. It was like a squeaky clean hobby magazine. Squeaky clean hobby magazine. But then you get baseball card magazine, tough stuff. They're a little edgy, and they're going to, talk about the scams and that a little more frequently than, say a Beckett. So, tough stuff was like calling out like the National and how the promoters were like, there was like a vote of no confidence, which I found fascinating. And as I'm reading some of these little snippets about the National back in 1993, it's like, people have the same complaints about the National today. Like they don't want to go back to this city, and there's logistics reasons they're not going back to Anaheim, and all of this. And it's like, the more things change, the more they stay the same. It's 30 years ago, and here we are having the same discussions, debates, and arguments about the National, and really the hobby in general on some of the others. There was an early ad from 1993 of PSA, which I found fascinating. I tweeted that out last night. And there were some other like little tidbits that I had found. So found some great, I love, like, that's why I love old hobby magazines. And I always have something within reach. I have it's underneath a couple piles of cards, so I don't want to disturb it. 1988 baseball card magazine with Matt Noakes on the cover. And then I've got I did have a Renata Galasso, I can't remember, hobby collector report, I think is what it was called, in the early 80s. 83, 84 is when that was published. So I love those old hobby magazines. Now that I talk about it, I might go in search of some more. If I can find them for $1 or $2 at like a card shop or antique store, like, I'm all about it. Like, I bought a few old copies at Mike Summers' card shop in Bloomington, Illinois. He had the Bo Jackson like Superman issue. There was a Michael Jordan baseball issue, and it's like for $2 each. Like, heck yeah, all day long. So I mean, the content alone is worth $2 to me. And the entertainment value of reading about the hobby 30 years ago. Fascinating. So let's talk about Tua. So as I was perusing my Tough Stuff magazine, I'm watching the Dolphins, and who in the hell were they playing last night? I was watching the game, and I think I had tweeted out, I made one of those tweets like the moment Tua went down, so I didn't see it in live action. I had it on, but I just heard like the gasp, and was watching the replays, and like they call it, what is it, the fencing response, the fencer response, where his fingers were like all like, it's like, oh my God, like that's the sign of head trauma. And I cannot believe, this is a Friday soapbox. I cannot believe this day and age, with what we know about head injuries and concussions, and how the NFL is protecting quarterbacks and players in general from head injuries, that Tua was allowed. I didn't realize he went on Sunday. I did not realize he went back into the game after that injury. And it was just a back injury. Bullshit. that was not a back injury. Did you see, like, I'm no doctor, so, but I know enough to recognize the difference between a head injury and a back injury. And that, my friends, was not a back injury. In my certainly not doctor's opinion, in my just life experience. And he was allowed to go, like, I saw that and I'm like, well, at least he didn't play the rest of the game. And then, like, yesterday, it's like Tua's playing. I'm like, oh, I'm surprised he's playing this quick after having a concussion. Like, I didn't realize, like, I didn't like know. I just saw the video of Tua and like him like shaking the cobwebs out, stumbling. His teammates had to like help him because he couldn't walk on his own. I assumed that they pulled him out of the game. He had a concussion and he was going to miss at least a week. And then I'm watching the game and it's like, wow, Tua got cleared fast. And then he takes that hit last night. So that was scary. And hopefully I haven't heard any reports since last night. I know he was taken to a trauma center last night, like right after it happened. I mean, he was put on a stretcher, backboard, whatever that is, taken to a hospital trauma center. So hopefully it's not too serious. It looks pretty serious, but that was scary. That's super scary. Super scary. So let's go to the chat. DR says, I had a blast last night sorting NBA cards from the 90s. So many cool inserts and base designs. The best decade of basketball cards ever. I would agree with that. The mid-90s and I think that's nostalgia for me, because by the crash of 92, 93, that's when I like kind of focused on like I was basketball crazy. I was buying the magazines. I was playing basketball in my driveway 12 hours a day. Like I was a hoops head. And I loved Shaq and the Orlando Magic, Penny and Shaq. And then I collected basketball cards through the mid 90s. And I go back, and basketball cards it was like a brief moment in time. It was a mid 90s basketball cards for me are time capsule, because I basically collected them for 3 years, stopped collecting basketball cards. I think I traded them off or sold them like in 8th grade or 9th grade, and then never looked at 90s basketball cards until like a couple years ago. As I'm going through basketball cards, it's like I haven't collected basketball cards in 30 years. I don't care about these. And then I'm seeing some of these inserts, and it's like basketball cards from the mid 90s are like the best designs of all time on trading cards. I said it. Mid 90s basketball cards, and I think you can start from like 92, 93 through the late 90s, really. The decade of the 90s, design-wise, and for me, nostalgia, best designs of all time. And I'm lumping that in with baseball from the 50s, 60s, and 70s, football from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, baseball. I think I already said baseball, but best design, 90s basketball. Let's see. Zach and Porter says, does the coupon work on soccer or hockey cards in my store? Yes, it does work. I do have soccer and hockey cards in my eBay store, and it does work on those. Blue Zertush, do you check your Instagram DMs? I sent you a video of some Cubs cards from my local shop. The answer is sometimes. Instagram and email. I do not check often. I will check my Instagram DMs. It was likely in my request folder, and I missed those because I don't get notifications on Instagram, because I really don't know how to use Instagram that well outside of posting a few pictures here and there. So I apologize. I will check my Instagram and let you know. Let's see. Zach and Porter. Bo only checks the live chat in this video feed. I kid. Let's see. Tracy says, and I also check Twitter messages, but if it's like if it's in my like a request folder, I don't often check that because I don't get notifications and I just forget. Can't find it, but I'll fix it by buying something again so I get it next time. Let's see. Jenny says, whoa, just saw Gavin Escobar died. That stinks. That's really young. Jeez. Let's see. Zach and Porter says, check your messages in eBay. Most, if not all, offers go there besides your email. It's a catch-all. And I did not know they also went to the eBay messages. That's cool. Zach and Porter says, forgive my crassness. Beckett equals Playboy. Tough Stuff equals Penthouse. Magazine comparison for folks who read the articles. There you go. Paige and Deanie Bean says, I looked at a site that showed baseball product releases by the year 2008. Something like 120 releases per year. Holy moly. Ricardo can't wait for the Chicago National. You and me both. You going to the Spectacular in November? Probably not. Unfortunately, my venue for my card show, the Madison Card Show, the only open date in November was the Saturday of the Spectacular. It just kind of depends how things work out schedule wise. If I have any big bulk, if somebody comes and says, hey, I have 50,000 Cubs cards, meet me at the Spectacular, I will make it a go. Otherwise I probably won't go just because I think for me, the cost is like $75-$80 just to walk in. And the dealers I buy from are dealers I can go to a local show in the Chicago area, Milwaukee, or like Jennings and Freeport. So, just put a few miles on my tank of gas. It'll cost me $15-$20 in gas to go to a Milwaukee card show or Freeport, as opposed to $20 or $30 in gas, $20 in tolls, $15 in parking, $12 admission. So it's one of those where it's just not worth the juice. Ain't worth the squeeze for the Spectacular because a lot of the dealers I already see. And certainly and last November was the last time I went to the Spectacular. I only bought from two vendors, and one vendor was I can drive down an hour to Freeport to the card shop and dig through the bargain boxes at no cost of admission, no tolls, and just a little bit in gas and free parking in downtown Freeport. And the other dealer I bought from sets up at Tony's Oak Creek card show. So it's $1 admission there, free parking. And again, it just cost me a little bit of gas. So only if somebody says like, hey, I've got a bunch of cards for you, meet me in Rosemont, I'll go. Otherwise I won't. Because Friday's like card show prep day for me. So it would be like I would have to rearrange my schedule Friday. And then obviously Saturday I'm doing my show. And then, Sunday it's kind of dead. We'll see. Maybe I'll go Sunday just to try to pick up some bulk. That could be. Depends on where I'm at inventory wise too. If I'm kind of overwhelmed with inventory, I may not. So I guess that's a short answer, long answer, short, maybe. David says Bengals. Yes, Bengals and Dolphins last night. Thank you. Victor says, Bo, if you come across any articles about rookie history and or news, let me know. Victor, I'm so happy you mentioned that. Because I think there was one. I'm going to run out and I'm going to grab this tough stuff because I think there was something of a mention of rookie cards in this tough stuff. So I'll be back in 30 seconds. Start the timer. Okay, I'm back. Okay. So what I love so this is 1993, September. It's got the goats. Well, a couple goats. Baseball and in NASCAR, I think, are up for debate. I think we can all agree Michael Jordan's the GOAT in basketball. Wayne Gretzky, probably the GOAT in hockey. NASCAR, I don't know. GOAT, NASCAR, Dale Earnhardt, Richard Petty, Joe DiMaggio, not the GOAT. So cover stories. The secrecy of production numbers, which I found fascinating. It didn't really, I didn't really read that one too much. And then did Wall Street kill the cards? Yes, we were talking about charts and graphs and investing back in 1993. But to Victor, because I actually, Victor, there was something that I wanted to include you. I wanted to tweet about it and include you. Oh man, what was it? So this portion of the show is where Bo flips through a magazine. Let's see. I'm pretty sure it was. It should be fairly easy for me to find. Aha, here it is, Victor. I found it. So it's actually it's a reader's right Q&A. It's about Carlos Baerga. Remember Carlos Baerga, Cleveland Indians? The title is Baerga Rookie. How could you, for the longest time, print Carlos Baerga's 1991 Upper Deck number 125 as his rookie card? Then, as early as 4 months ago, make his 1990 traded set number 737 a rookie card. We invested, there it is, there's the I word, excuse me. We invested a lot of money in his 1991 card, and now it is not his rookie card. Help! That's from Lewis in Fort Myers, Florida. Hopefully Lewis is okay. Fort Myers got hit really hard with Hurricane Ian. So that's regarding the Carlos Baerga rookie card. The answer from Tough Stuff magazine, September 1993. Since there are several companies making baseball cards, the first card of a player from each manufacturer, regardless of year, can be accepted as a rookie issue. I found that answer to be like kind of huh? What? I don't believe that. And Victor, I assume that you are probably on my wavelength where that's not right. Like, you can't have a rookie card from each set. I don't know. Do you agree with that answer from Tough Stuff? I don't. I don't think that would be saying, so basically based on that response by Tough Stuff magazine in this issue, that the 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle is a rookie card, which it's not. It's the 1951 Bowman. And that would be saying, I mean, there's so many examples, but I found that fascinating. And I think I may have actually taken a picture, but I sent out like 3 or 4 machine gun tweets, and then the whole Tua thing came up, and I put it on the back burner. But there you go. I found that fascinating, Victor. And I would like to get your thoughts on that question answer portion. Chris says, is there a way to push Card Dealer Pro data to draft eBay listings instead of published listings? Oof, I don't know. That's an answer for Ted. Reach out to Ted at Collects, and I think that's his email, ted@collects.com. Reach out to Ted, and he can probably help you out with that. If that's not his answer, go to collects.com or carddealerpro.com, and his info will be there. He's super, super helpful. So reach out to Ted. Mark says, Victor, I've got some old card periodicals from the 70s. I'll check those for you. That's awesome. And that's something that I and it might have been inspired by Mark Hoyle on Twitter. There was and I bought one from like 1974, 75, because those are like years that I don't have any like hobby mag. I have one now. But I find those fascinating, like the state of the hobby through the years. Chris says, I've never heard that or agree with that rookie definition. Thanks. And okay, so yeah, we're on the same. Like, I don't like, that's not like, you can't have in different years. Like, I don't agree with that in different years. Now, can you have like let's look at 1989. Ken Griffey Jr., 1989 Upper Deck is a rookie card. A 1989 Donruss is a rookie card. A 1989 Topps Traded is a rookie card, and that's in my opinion. But in the example of like Mickey Mantle, that's just the first one that I think everybody thinks of. 1952 Topps, not his rookie card, because he had a card issued in 1951. He was playing in 1951. That's his rookie card. So that's my thought. And I think the thoughts and opinions probably vary by collector. I'm sure there's some people that do accept the 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle as a rookie card. I don't think most of the hobby does. So there you go. What else did I was going to talk about some of my homecoming stories from years gone by, but maybe I'll save that for my weekend recap on Sunday. So yes, so I have some shipping to do. Thanks for those that have put some food on my table, buying some cards out of my eBay store. That coupon is valid if you've been a previous customer of mine in my eBay store. You should have that 50% off coupon, 10 or more items. It's valid until 11:30 p.m. tonight. Should be in your inbox. And thank you, Zach. I did not realize they went to the eBay inbox as well. May show up in your spam folder. It does come from eBay. Sports Cards by Bo is in the subject line. So look out for that. Fall Creek says, I find rookie definitions fascinating. Forever Clemens and Puckett was 84 Fleer update. Now TCDB calls those XRCs one of many examples. And I think that was, and I could be wrong, but wasn't XRC like a term invented by Beckett? I think that was a term invented by Beckett in the 80s because of those traded sets. So let's see. Paige and Deanie Bean, you two have a great weekend. Victor says, yeah, a generic answer for a complex issue. They changed the identifier, which is unfair to do for the reasons mentioned by the reader. So there you go. So have a great weekend. I will not be live tomorrow. I always say, hey, maybe I'll go live, but it's like when I'm in the moment, it's like nobody is going to want to watch the high school band in Annawan, Illinois perform the fight song, which I was trying to remember the words this morning. And it's fight on, old Annawan, maroon and white, fight on, old Annawan, fight, 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 ANNAWAN, Annawan, fight on to victory. But I think there's another verse that I'm forgetting. But so they're not the Braves tonight. They're the Titans because they co-op with the neighboring town. So I'll be at my I'll be not too many Bud Lights, no promises. Can't promise that. There might be a lot of Bud Lights flowing in Annawan tonight. I'll be heading down a little bit later this morning, hitting the parade, and my mom's like an antiquer, and so we're gonna have some time between the parade and like when some of my friends are coming over for pregame Bud Lights. So maybe be like, hey, let's hit an antique store and find some old Beckett's. So gonna watch the parade, gonna watch the football game. And my first Annawan homecoming in like I think probably 2002 was the last time I was back, maybe 2001, because by 02 and 03 I was working in radio and broadcasting high school football on Friday nights. So with that said, I bid you adieu. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. I'll be back live on Sunday morning, and I'll see you then.